Christopher Lamb.
Ryan Kretschmer.
Brian Stotts.
Brian O'Mara.
Jonathan Keenan.
Jonathan Buckert.
Norman Bialewski.
Derek Perkins.
Robert Gutsky.
Matthew Wallace.
Scott Bench.
Kai Clark.
Stephen, don't call me Phil Kaiser.
Stephen Nowicki.
Michael Slauson.
Michael Preset.
William Heziotis.
Mark McLean.
Scott Dingman.
Daniel Vick.
Troy McClure.
Ronald Boyce.
James Wolfschlager.
Gerald Brunetti Jr.
James Emmons Jr.
Russell Vallone Jr.
Paul Parado Jr.
Samson Capizzi Jr.
Roger Schwade Jr.
John Martorella Sr.
David Albert Brinkle II.
Richard Patrick Ferraro II.
Raymond Philip LeChase III.
H. Robert Wiley IV. Ron, these bowlers we have mentioned have not died.
That's right, Mike. They did not make the cut in this year's Rochester USBC Masters.
We ask you now to join us in a moment of silence as we remember those who did not make it this year. Thank you. Ron, I think it's only appropriate that at this time we move forward and talk about those bowlers that made the cut, but not forget those who did not make it this year. We'll be right back.
Bowlers, bowlers, bowlers! We have bowling balls from 1995!
Like we've got microwave ovens from 1995!
3 ball bags, 2 ball bags, and 1 ball bags! Price to move!
It's unbelievable, Mike! Like we've got mugs. They're $3 a piece or 2 for $5.
What's under that green tarp, Ron?
I don't know!
New balls! Old balls! Old guy in a chair! Is he alive?
I don't... It doesn't matter!
24 hours a day, Ron! Sunset Lanes Pro Shop!
Mike, what's that number?
I don't know! Sunset, sunset, sunset!
Children under 12, always free.
Hi folks, Mike Wurme here alongside Hall of Famer Ron Boyce, and that was a very touching introduction for the bowlers that just didn't make it this year. Yeah. Not a dry eye in the house.
Nor should there be.
No. It's the 2014 Masters. It's the season's first major, Ron, and the only major, right. I might add.
You know what that means?
No, I don't.
Me neither.
Okay. So. Well, we're going to get right to the tournament recap. A lot of entries this year. Over 80 entries this year.
A record.
Many of which bullied into the field by Bill Stoddard, one of our qualifiers.
RB promoter, Bill Stoddard.
Absolutely right. Ron, you bowled in the tournament this year.
I did.
How did it go for you?
It was a very not challenging condition.
Okay. I figured it was. We did find your name quicker, starting at the bottom of the standings and moving up. We found you right away.
Funny you should say that, Mike, but I was ahead of one particular bowler here that bowls this tournament religiously.
That's right. We have an award to give away to one of the bowlers who did not make the cut this year. Normally a staple in the finals. He bowls for the prestige of this event, Ron, and we have an award to give away to Brian O'Mara. This beautiful participation trophy here. We literally spared no expense on this trophy. So Brian O'Mara, I know it wasn't the finish that you wanted, but nonetheless, you are going home with some hardware, I might add, that was made at Beginners to Pros Trophy Shop, Ron. So, Brian O'Mara, we wish you better luck next year in this event. He does not bowl for the prize money. He bowls for this right here.
But your dedication right there,
It got him this trophy.
Exactly.
And his participation.
Yeah.
Ron, we're going to get right to our top 12 predictions right after this.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday!
It's unbelievable, Mike. Mike, what's that? It looks like a half-drinking beer.
I think it is. What's that?
Odor eliminator.
$5. Coffee mugs, 3 for 1, 2 for 5.
Flying off the shelf.
What is under that thing?
It's still there.
Oh my gosh! Used TVs, Rhino Pro towels,
Mike, we got
new
new
TVs.
TVs.
Oh my gosh, 1995.
Mike,
Look at this selection.
We have an archive selection of Spares and Strikes.
Get down here to Sunset Lanes Pro Shop. It's open 24 hours a day. What's that phone number, Ron?
I have no idea.
Get down here and get that TV now.
All right.
Kids under 12 free.
Do it.
All right, Ron, it is time to get to our top 12 projections.
It's what everybody's been waiting for,
Yes,
Mike.
12 bowlers made the cut. Some were surprises this year, Ron.
About 12 of them more.
Yeah, most of them were.
Yeah.
We're going to get right off to it here. Our projected 12th place finish, a bit of a surprise. This individual, an avid tournament player.
Yeah, I'm surprised he made the cut, Mike. That's the
Well,
biggest
I know
surprise
it's
of it all.
Mark
Oh, yeah.
Scuderi Jr.
Yep.
Unfortunately, almost got disqualified for changing his clock behind. He celebrated daylight savings time a second time. And it almost cost him the cash spot here in the field.
It did. That RIT education really shining through
Not
there.
a lot up here, Ron.
Not
He
at
does
all.
everything two-handed, Ron. We'll
Which-
let the
yeah.
viewers at home use their imagination. It
Right.
gets really disgusting if you really think
It really does. But you know, the best thing about Mark, he is going to get a $95 check from the USBC Rochester Masters. And
there's more to it. He
and
gets the
Mike-
2 for $20 at Applebee's
right.
special there, which is provided, and there's one other prize in there.
I believe the Delta Tonic 3-car car wash there.
Yeah, he'll have to pick those up after hours, Ron. That is
Yeah.
not a prize that can be given away during peak time.
It's hard to stand for Mark, though. He has no car to really use.
No, he has no car to wash. But speaking of washes, this bowler really took a bath in this year's tournament.
Yeah.
It's our projected 11th place finisher.
And he's not washed up either.
No,
Well,
no.
Yeah.
Disappointing finish
Yes.
for Mike R.
Mike R, yeah.
Can't use his last name, Ron, due to
We
legal
can't-
agreements.
Legal obligations. And, you know, the sad part about Mike is, you know, he can beat Tracy Spanitz on a Friday night, but I'll tell you, he comes to the Masters tournament and he can't beat Tim Hungerford.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so, Ron. Mike really looks like he's ready for the Senior Masters. He does turn 50 in just a couple weeks,
You
and
know,
he's going to be ready for that event.
Well, I heard that he's going to be ready from that from a very special guest we have.
Who is that,
I
Ron?
believe we have one Ruth Rose here.
Look at how beautiful
Hey,
she
Ruth,
is.
how are you today?
Ruth,
All right.
you want to ask her a couple questions? The tournament director, Ruth Rose, and wife of our 11th place finisher.
Ruth, what do you think about the turnout we had this year for the Masters tournament?
Great, and
Yeah.
your husband, not a good performance this year. What did you want to say about that? All right,
Yeah.
that'll wrap it up
Great
for
insight.
Ruth R.
Yep,
Ruth
Ruth
Rose. Great job on the tournament.
thanks
We're going to set you down. Hopefully I don't get a splinter for Ruth again.
Yeah.
But,
Very smooth, though. Yeah.
Very, very smooth. We're going to move on to our projected 10th place finisher, Ron. It's
Again, he beat out Mike R.
He did.
It's Tim Hungerford? I don't know. Tim Hungerford. What? It's on the sheet there. It says Hungerford.
I've never heard of him, Ron.
No idea.
I've lived here for 34 years. I've never
And you know
heard
what?
of him.
If you go above him, the guy that's in ninth place, it says I got Brian Decker.
Brian Decker. Who?
In relation to Terry Decker?
I don't know, but we are right in the middle of a men's corner here at
Yeah.
the Masters. It's the 10th, 9th, and 8th place finishers. It's a who's who until we get to our 8th place finisher.
Who is who?
Friday night league player Rick
Freeman.
our projected
Yeah.
8th place finisher.
A solid B League Friday bowler.
Yes,
And
he does.
I
bowls with Sylvester Sampson, I
And
believe,
I think
on that
that's
team.
what really put him into the cut here. I think
Yeah,
all that experience bowling with Sylvester.
Rick came to bowling with one bowling ball, and he was able to make the cut,
He did.
surprisingly.
He did. And, you know, I'll tell you what, though, on behalf of the Rochester Bowling Association, it was good to give Rick free shoes here so that he didn't have to pay the $5
Absolutely
rental
right,
fee.
and hopefully those shoes were sprayed after use.
I agree.
Shoe sprayer in his own right, our projected 7th place finisher is none other than Ray Bardall Jr.
Ray Bardall, the third most accomplished Bardall in the family.
That's right behind Ray Sr. and Jennifer,
Yep.
who wins every handicap tournament she
That's
has.
right.
with
Well,
her,
you know, you bowl at
nice average.
B Brockport. We can say Brockport
Yes,
Bowl.
we can.
So, yes, so good for her.
He was somehow able to tuck his shirt in for match play part of the way, Ron.
Part of the way. Well, when you only wear a medium shirt and you weigh as much as, well, let's not even get into
Let's
it.
talk about the
Let's talk about the
jewelry
gold
around
chains.
his
Yep.
neck, Ron.
Yep.
Beautiful jewelry. Where did he get a piece
You
of
know,
jewelry
I
that
did
expensive?
ask Chris about that, and he said that the Dollar General had a big sale, and he paid a total of $3.
Looked like half a carat of gold there for what a great deal. It must have been a Black Friday special.
Indeed.
Speaking of special, we have a special finisher projected in 6th place, Ron. It's the only left-hander in our field. It's Ricky Zanone.
And we're not really sure he's left-handed, but we're going to call him left-handed for this tournament. Yeah, he came in 6th place. He almost didn't bowl today.
He had a problem getting some money for the entry fee, Ron.
But he shook down 8 people, and he got the $80 to bowl, so good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
A nightclub, exotic nightclub manager by night, homeless by day.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
That's Ricky Zanone.
All 8 people, by the way, are going to be there to collect their $10.
Yeah, you would hope so. He's going to need some new sponsors for the next tournament. So if you're interested in sponsoring Ricky Zanone,
get a hold of
costs
us.
you $1.29 a day, and he can have a hot meal as well. We're going to take a break here right now. We have a tip of the week coming up, Ron. I know you're very excited about that.
It's going to be a great tip.
And then we're going to get to our projected top 5 finishers. Okay. We'll get to our tip of the week right after this.
Hey, Ron Boyce here with your Bowler's Advantage tip of the week. A lot of you house bowlers out there, you're having a hard time carrying the 10-pin and you're seeing other bowlers bowl better than you. Well, I'll tell you what. If you think that's the case, it probably is. And from me to you, just quit. It's not even worth a hassle. This is Ron Boyce. That's my average bowler of the week. Have a nice day.
Wow, Ron, I got to tell you, what a great tip, and all the viewers out there can probably use that advice.
Yeah,
that are fans of our
I know, I do. And
I'm thinking about it myself.
I've been down to 1 league now because of that tip.
Definitely a great idea there, Ron. Let's waste no further time here. We're going to get right into our projected top 5 finishers. 5th place, Ron, I know, great tournament for this individual.
Yes, and thanks to Ricky Zanone, this person was able to come in and bowl this tournament. We're talking about Sarah Germano.
Sarah Germano, if I'm not mistaken, she goes by the name Mercedes at Club 1100 that Ricky Zanone manages.
Yep, that's right. Sarah did bowl a 300 game during qualifying. Very, very well done.
You're going to want to check out that video.
The video will be on YouTube shortly. However, due to pending litigation, we're not going to take any more questions or discuss Sarah coming in 5th place.
No further questions on Sarah Germano, which gets us to our 4th place finisher, projected 4th place finisher. A bit of a surprise. One of those names you don't expect. It's Will Rich, the man with 2 first names.
Yes, and you might have seen Will Rich. He's a big Duck Dynasty fan by the beard.
That surprises me. He is a barber, and that is a true story. A barber by day, and apparently a tournament bowler by night, because he did quite well.
He did, and he was also he was the highest homeless finisher. He beat Ricky Zanone by 2 spots.
That's great.
Finished in 4th place.
I also know one other fact about Will Rich. He's a lifetime platinum level Brazzers.com subscriber. I know he's very proud about that. That's a costly membership, too.
It is, very much so, but good for him.
He'll be bathing in prize money from this tournament, Ron, and I know our 3rd place finisher really needs some cash, too. It's Dan Keenan, projected in 3rd place, Ron.
You know, Dan Keenan came up a little bit short, and
he's also came up bald.
A little bit bald, yeah. And, Dan was really hoping to come in 1st place today. He wanted that money for diapers.
Oh, yeah. Instead, he's going to settle for a car seat. That'll be the 2nd car seat in the Stephanie Buhan station wagon.
That's right. Well, they do need a 2nd car seat now for their daughter, because now not only does Stephanie have to put Dan in the car seat, the daughter in the car seat. It's a good
I know a goal for Dan Keenan is to get up into that front seat one of these days, and he's real close to it.
He's close, yeah. He can almost ride the Jackrabbit, too.
Absolutely, and this 3rd place finish is going to really give him a confidence boost.
That he needs it.
We had one heck of a final match, Ron.
Planned final match.
It was a projected final match, we do want to say. Our projected 2nd place finisher in this year's 2014 Masters is none other than Stephen Meyer.
Yeah.
Another 300 game bowler.
I think everybody in the Masters this year had a 300 game. And Brian O'Mara.
Well, we can't talk about that, Ron. We've already given those awards away. Steve Meyer, the sole reason that Mike R. finished in 11th place, he was just throwing the ball all over the place. He really affected Mike.
Yeah, he shimwrecked every pair in the entire house.
Absolutely.
It was terrible.
It was an all-ABT final. Those drinks he is consuming all weekend. Yeah. $14 for a double Grey Goose and cranberry. It really cut into his price.
And he actually owes the tournament money.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hopefully he did not walk out on the bar tab like he did last year, but Dewey Gardens will be looking for him after the tournament is over.
And non-disclosed, by the way. We have no control over Stephen Meyer.
No, we don't. Nobody does, Ron. Our projected winner of this year's Masters. I
Yep.
know it was a real cutthroat final
Yes.
match with two, we'll just say friends.
Yes.
Who is this year's projected Masters champion?
Well, we have an ABT Hall of Famer in Bill Stoddard.
Bill Stoddard, also in the nightclub bouncer Hall of Fame as well.
Yes. Unemployed.
Yes, he
He's
is.
unemployed now, though.
He was
He's unemployed
he was
boxing.
working as a lingerie store security guard over
Right.
the Black Friday weekend, Ron. I know
But,
that.
Yeah, it's true. But the good thing about Billy is he can, his free time, now that he has more of it, he can, read up on his, romance novels.
He's a wine connoisseur. I didn't know if you knew
connoisseur,
that.
Yep.
He loves reading poetry. I know he goes to a lot of poetry readings,
Yep.
and the romantic dinners that he
Yes,
makes are
yes.
just beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye, Ron.
It really does.
It was a high-scoring
Yeah.
final match, but
It was.
Little Orphan Billy defeated Steve Meyer 289 to 287.
That's right.
Due to a 710, pocket 710
Yeah,
that
that's-
Steve Meyer left on
That's
that final.
what I think that's what's going to end up happening there.
It's too bad. It was a
And-
great tournament for both of those bowlers.
And I think Billy really representing the crackers out there, the Ritz crackers.
The saltines,
Yeah, there's
the Cracker
Triscuits.
Barrel,
Yeah, Cracker
Triscuits,
Barrel,
Wheat
yeah.
Thins, Cheez-Its, all the
Yeah.
crackers were in the finals.
Because I think on Facebook we saw that he really dedicates a lot of what happens out there to the crackers. Of the world.
Absolutely.
So,
He won this for the Crackers.
right.
Ron, that is going to do it for this year's
Yeah.
Masters projections and predictions and recap. On behalf of you, we'd like to thank all of our fans, subscribers to our YouTube videos,
All
for
100, hundreds.
hundreds and hundreds and tens of viewers and all of our fans. We're trying to make next year's Masters recap bigger, better, and with a lower production cost.
That's right. Mike, a pleasure.
It
this
was
year.
a pleasure.
Yep.
We want to thank our camera operator, Greg K.
Yep.
We're not
Yeah,
allowed
we're
to
not
use
allowed
his
to
last
use his
name.
last name, no, but-
Ron, thank you. We also want to thank Kai Clark for not showing up again. We also want to thank the Sunset Lanes, beautiful Sunset Lanes here, for the use of their pro shop and the old guy.
There's a pro shop.
Yeah, the
in
old
Sunset Lane?
guy. We want to check the pulse on that old guy before we leave.
Oh, this is a pro shop. In Sunset
Yes,
Lane?
it is.
I didn't know.
Ron,
Great.
fantastic episode, a great recap, and we'll see all of you next year at the 2015 show. Good luck and good bowling.
And as always, have fun.